Hello everybody, Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and I wanted to review the art of Guinevere for a couple of reasons. One, Guinevere issue 1 is launching nationwide in Diamond Comic distribution. Go order it from your local comic store, starting in the April edition of previews, so check that out. Just so you know a little bit about my philosophy, the team that did this gorgeous retail cover for issue 1 is the same team that did all the anterior pages on that issue. So we have some gorgeous splash pages when we talk about issue 1. Just like, look at, this is kind of our cliffhanger of issue 1 there, and I love like the tentacles and the court and everything. But also, the original art from Guinevere that I used to take to shows and talk about people back before comic existed were actually these two splash pages. And, by the way, there's another gorgeous splash page where Guinevere is now kind of astrally projecting outside the Gatsby Mansion. And you want to know, well, what's that about? Hey, check out issue 1, again, from a local comic store. Also, I'm selling on Whatnot, and this is an opportunity for me to move some of the stuff that I still have left over from my Kickstarter. So I wanted to review the art of Guinevere, and I'm going to put this out there for the Whatnot audience. And if there's something in here that you like, let me know and I can put it up for auction for you. So, and going back to the very first Kickstarter on it, I have this variant cover by Paolo Panfilina, and he was actually the artist who originally conceived what Viviax the Succubus, who consumes a lot more artwork as we go on, but he's the one who originally conceived what she would look like back on this variant cover from issue 1. I still have some of these available. Print run on this was about 100, so that one might go up in value. You should buy it. Alright, now when we got to issue 2, my first scorching hot cover. This one sold out. I issued 100 copies of this cover by Whiskey Paint, and that was when I knew Whiskey Paint was going to deliver for me. I mean, like, this is just so gorgeous, and audiences loved it. I made a lenticular cover out of it, by the way. Still available on issue 3, which combined this image with this variation, which I call Breaking Free, and those two join in a lenticular cover I have for issue 3. So I have this cover from Miss Sashi. Interestingly enough, I'd sold a copy of this at the last convention I was at. Somebody was like, "Is that Daphne?" I'm like, "No, it's my character Guinevere." He's like, "Well, I collect Daphne, and it looks like Daphne, so I suppose you could stretch and say that it looks like Daphne from Scooby-Doo." But yes, so that's Miss Sashi's variant cover for Guinevere issue 2. The cover of issue 2 is, I think, really gorgeous, so I love the Art Deco design as we're talking about technology. And we have this pretty cool splash page from issue 2, which I've sold as a print a number of times. You know, on a wall of covers, like this splash page gets chosen a fair amount, and people just go, well, it's because there's the blobs. But, I mean, there are, you know, there's some skin on my other covers. This one seems to tell kind of an interesting story. Some people are like, it's because the men are captivated and staring at her, just as the audience is. I don't know what speaks to people, but this splash page I do have as a print and a metal trading card. So, yeah, that's the Guinevere 2 splash page. Now, when we get to issue 3, that was when I was like, okay, I want to really see how much art I can move. So I engaged some of the best artists I had. I brought back Miss Sashi, who did this cover. There's also a naughty version, and this became my #1 selling image at conventions. People loved Miss Sashi's take on Viviax. It's rather provocative. I really love the art on issue 3. The main retail cover, I chose this for the back cover for my trade paperback. I feel it really encapsulates the entire story there, just like visually. So I think it's a gorgeous main retail cover. I brought on Jamie Tyndall of White Widow fame, and he did these two covers called the Naughty and the Nice version. And at this point, I really started conceiving of, like, branching out from the story, which I did, by the way, with issue 1 of Lords of Iron. I'm actually auctioning off issue 1 of Lords of Iron, and I'm going to be continuing that through a 5-issue series. And I first thought of, what about this, like, combination character of, say, what if in the future Guinevere becomes possessed by Viviax and they join in this kind of techno thing? So I introduced the character Trinity, who has 3 different entities that kind of comprise her. 2 of them we already know about, Guinevere and Viviax, and then there's the villain from Guinevere, Eric the android, and those three all join together to form Trinity, which was first conceived of and wonderfully rendered by Whiskey Paint on this variant cover for issue 3. Issue 3 also had a lot of cool splash pages people like. These are available as prints or metal trading cards. We have Eric in his secret lair underneath the big head. We have Eric as kind of the ace of swords with a big claw. I've sold that one as a print a number of times. People really like that, like the horror conventions. We've got this splash page of kind of Guinevere doing magic from a bound position, which does happen there in issue 3. I encourage you to check it out. And when we get to issue 4, we have this splash page, which, as you can tell, the story is kind of continuing. Now, when we get to issue 4, in terms of the artwork, we have this is the main retail cover, and then we have some gorgeous cover. One, Paolo Pantalina came back and did these two covers. He did this one, kind of our Two Worlds cover, and this one, the Werewolf versus Werebear. This one I sell a lot of. One, it's a gorgeous piece of art, and two, some people are like, werewolves, werebears, like they love them. So, boom, we got those images from Paolo. Matt Weldon came on. This is the only time Matt Weldon and I worked together. He did this cover for me for Guinevere 4. I also brought on an artist named Jenseman. This is the only time we've been able to collaborate, and it's a shame because this is a popular cover. It's just these artists, they're hard to reach through an email, and sometimes they become unavailable or busy or whatnot. But hey, I miss you guys. I look forward to working with you in the future. So Jenseman did that cover. Matt Weldon did that cover. Whiskey Paint, I love this dancing cover that he did for issue 4. And this cover of Miss Sashi by Guinevere, I've sold a ton of these. It's great. It's very kind of cheesecakey, but also in kind of like a classic bomber. You could see this being on like the side of a World War II bomber or something. It's really kind of a gorgeous piece of Guinevere on a bearskin rug. Additional splash pages I did in issue 4. I did this one of the Werewolf Werebear Showdown. The cover really blew kind of the splash page away, so I never really moved that one much in art. I do have that still available, though, in terms of a print or a metal trading card if somebody wants it. And this splash page is kind of Guinevere walking between the two worlds. So, Paolo took those and he really kind of rendered them up really nicely as covers. So, but a separate art team did render them as splash pages, and those are available for people who are interested. A couple of issue 4 splash pages which have moved, which kind of surprised me. One is this picture of kind of driving a car through the astral spirit world, and the colorist who did it got annoyed that I was even selling it as a print. He's like, I colored that to be an interior page. If I'd have known you're going to do it as a print, I'd have done it differently. But I've sold it a few times, and this image, which is kind of Gatsby the wizard, is kind of a diesel punk with the goggles, and he's there to rescue his girl. Issue 4 is pretty exciting. You should definitely check that out at your local comic store when that comes out. And at long last, we get to issue 5, which has a cool main cover. R.B. White came in, really knocked it out of the park with this image. Viviax, available also in Naughty version where she loses the bra. People love this image. I've sold it a ton. Kane and White came on and did this cover. The ever-popular Keith Garvey did that cover for me. And I have 2 splash page images. I have this one and this one introducing Divinity. So that is the artwork from issue 5 that is available mostly through Whatnot. So there's a link down in the bottom of this description if you want to go to my Whatnot profile and check out the next auction I got, or there are listings that are available on the profile, and you can just buy this stuff immediately. So thank you all so very much for your time and interest, and of course patronage. This has been Preston Poulter with Pocket Jacks Comics. Take care, everyone.